It's Five Things here on KC Sports Over. Tucker Franklin hanging out with you here, getting you ready to go for the Kansas City Chiefs, New York Giants, Sunday Night Football matchup. It's going to be a big one, and we got 5 different perspectives for you here on Five Things. You guys already know I'm out here at Batchelder Family Farms, 2810 South Prospect Avenue in Belton, Missouri. You can get all your favorite buffalo and your favorite cuts and meat here. I'm actually going to be joined by Jenna Batchelder. Jenna, thank you for joining us here on Five Things. If people can't make it out to the farm, which you guys should, by the way, where can they find you guys?
Well, you can find us at the Downtown City Market or Overland Park Farmers Market. Some other locations that we can showcase is the Uppercut Kansas City and Liberty, Missouri. They have some of our steaks and some of our summer sausage and jerkies.
Yeah, that's real good stuff. So if you can't make it out here, that's where you can find it. And you, who else you can find? You can find the KC Laboratory next. Hear what they're talking about.
It's the fellas from the KC Laboratory, Kent Swanson, Matthew, Lane, Maddie. How excited are we for some Chiefs football this weekend?
Listen, I'm excited. I am ready for this right now. There's a chance for the Chiefs to get back in the win column in prime time and probably their easiest to win game of the year so far. So this is a big week for us Chiefs fans to get things turned around in our hype for the season.
Very much looking forward to this game. Some see it as a get-right game. And I think the hope for us is that it's a get-right game for the pass rush. This is a offensive line that is, hurt and, not particularly strong. I wouldn't define the offensive line as a strength for the New York Giants. But I don't think we can classify the pass rush so far as a strength for the Kansas City Chiefs, as evidenced by a very aggressive blitz scheme over the last couple of weeks, especially this last week against the Philadelphia Eagles. And yes, we know that there might be some susceptibility for Russ the same way there is for Jalen Hurts, but I think you want to hope to get home with 4. You want to be able to pressure with 4, and we really haven't seen the Chiefs do that at a good clip to this point. Maddie, do you think this is a get right game for the 4-man pass rush?
See, this is where I'm of like two minds for this. This is the best opportunity that the Chiefs should have to get the 4-man pass rush home, but we kind of said the same thing going into week 1 against the Los Angeles Chargers, and they were unable to do it, right? Like that offensive line was beat up, not seen as particularly a strong suit coming into the league or coming into the year, and the Chiefs 4-man pass rush really couldn't do much of anything against them. So, well, once again, the Giants' offensive line is very susceptible to getting beat essentially across the board, especially if Andrew Thomas does not play. I don't know if we've got an official word on that as of right now, but still, like, it's an offensive line that should be beaten. They should allow guys to get home. I just don't know. We're kind of like the very movable object running up against the very stoppable force right now with the Chiefs 4-man pass rush and the Giants pass protection. I will say, though, we talked about what the Chiefs did against the Eagles. If there was ever a game that the Chiefs need to dust off that exact same playbook and use it again, it's this one, right? Like Russell Wilson has the same kind of flaws as Jalen Hurts does, and he wants to kind of play the game the same way as Jalen Hurts does. So if the 4-man rush can't get home, mid-second quarter, I wouldn't be surprised to see Steve Spagnuolo start to turn up the heat again like we saw them do to the Eagles last week.
Yeah, the timing of when they start blitzing will be very telling, because like the Chiefs didn't really waste a ton of time against Jalen Hurts in this matchup. It wasn't like a wait and see kind of thing, which is why I tend to think it wasn't necessarily just the true indictment on the 4-man pass rush quite yet. That doesn't really fit the themes of the Chiefs coaching staff during this incredible run that they're on. It felt more just game plan specific. And I don't think that the Chiefs getting into the cover 0 blitzes against Russ immediately is going to be an indicator of an indictment on this pass rush quite yet either. I'm still going to be in a holding pattern. But there's going to be opportunity for them to rush 4 in this game. There's going to be some chances for them to get out there and pin their ears back and see what they have with their pass rush, because I don't think that they will just simply blitz every single possession, every single player, 65% of the time, whatever they did on Jalen Hurts. Even if they do want to be more aggressive, I think it'll be more measured. But this is a big opportunity for a lot of different players. Like the interior of that offensive line for the Giants is already extremely beat up. So Chris Jones should have some opportunities. And if he gets double teamed at the same clip he was by the Eagles, the way they discussed, the way Steve Spagnuolo discussed this week, It's going to be an opportunity for an Omar Norman Lott to get in there and rush from the interior. Some of the defensive ends might even be able to kick inside. You see Charles Omenihu. You see some of those players like that. I think it's susceptible to. I think it's susceptible along the interior. Not that the whole thing isn't, but I think specifically on the interior, I think there's some opportunities there.
No, absolutely. And I know we're talking about the interior, so we can definitely include them here too. But I was looking through the stats. The Chiefs edge rushers right now all of them have a below 10% pass rush win rate. Now, that doesn't exactly equate to anything. There's a little bit of subjectivity to it, but I mean, it also kind of matches the eye test. George Karlaftis is leading the team with like a 7.5%, 8% pass rush win rate, and that's a rough look. Charles Omenihu's down to like 2%. You have Mike Dana with a 0. Like they've essentially, whoever's trying these has said Mike Dana has not won a single pass rush at this point in time, and hard for me to find the ones that he has. Even when you click it to the interior, Chris Jones is well below what his career average is, or even what his average was last year, which was already a small step back from the prime of his career. Omar Norman Lott up to this moment has been playing, seldomly and injured, but I'm pretty sure he's sitting at 0% as well because they have not recorded him as winning a pass rush yet. These guys just aren't simply, as of right now, beating the blockers ahead of them. So starting the game, wouldn't mind letting these guys pin their ears back, get after, the quarterback. Russell Wilson will not necessarily hold the ball, but he will be looking to push the ball downfield. So you should have at least ample amount of time to get a rush plan off. Can somebody besides Chris Jones, and even can Chris Jones, start to make their presence felt? Because we haven't seen that yet, right? We haven't seen anybody actually garner attention from the opposing offense in a real way to help Chris Jones get better looks, to provide a little bit of pressure, give the coverage unit on the back end a little bit of relief. So this game, if you get out of the first quarter, out of the Giants' first 2-3 possessions of this game, and you're not getting any pressure when the Chiefs do only rush 4, that's a big red flag, I think, for the rest of the season, because you're not going to get a much worse offensive line across from you.
Very well could be. That could be an alarm bell sounding. Big opportunity for this team, big opportunity for the defense and this pass rush specifically against the New York Giants. Calling all Chiefs fans, you could be on the field at the 50 inside GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Visit Chiefs.com/GEHA now. Enter to win a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pregame coin toss. Plus, you can score exclusive prizes. Enter for a chance to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to hear from Matt Hamilton, but first, a break.
Shop Chiefs tickets and more with no fees. Plus, save big with code KCSN at ticketsforless.com, the official ticket provider of KC Sports Network.
What's up, guys? I'm BJ Kissel, founder and CEO of KC Sports Network, and I'm here to talk to Kansas City businesses. If you rely on technology, you need an IT support team that's not just another vendor, but a true IT partner. That's how I want to introduce you to my friend and neighbor, KJ Miller. He is a VCIO at ThrottleNet, the Midwest's highest rated and most reviewed IT support company. They've been in business for more than 25 years, helping companies stay secure, productive, and ahead of the curve. They aren't just IT support, but they provide data security, IT strategy, and cloud software services. They do it all, and their reviews show they do it better than anyone else. So if you want to hear about how ThrottleNet can help your local business, join the conversation with myself, KJ Miller from ThrottleNet, and our resident genius from KC Sports Network when it comes to IT, at least as he's affectionately known by us, Mr. Craig Stout. Click the link in the description to hear how ThrottleNet can help you.
Success in real estate takes more than vision. It takes the right financial partner. When someone takes something rundown and turns it into something great, that's called a comeback story, like Brain Group. They take distressed properties here in KC, completely rework them, and then turn them into valuable real estate. But that kind of work needs the right bank behind it. Enter Emprise Bank. They're not about cookie-cutter loans. They saw Brain Group's vision, backed them, and now they're making big moves in Kansas City real estate. Talk about your partner in possible. Emprise doesn't do one-size-fits-all financing. They invest in potential and back growth. Visit emprisebank.com/KC to learn more. Emprise Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
One thing that I'm looking for in this Chiefs-Giants game is for the Chiefs to finally establish the run. You're missing all these wide receivers. It's been a struggle to get the passing game going. If there was ever a week to get this run game going, it is this one on Sunday Night Football. This Giants defense ranks dead last against the run. They're giving up 6 yards per carry on the season. It's go time for this Chiefs run game. And I think what I want to see Kansas City do a little bit more is get under center and pound this Giants front. When you look at it last week, especially with Isaiah Pacheco, when they were running out of shotgun, 6 carries for 6 yards for him, 17 yards under expected on those 6 carries. He has not been efficient running out of the gun at all. Under center, though, in that game, 4 carries, 16 yards against the tough Eagles front. That's pretty efficient. Again, this Giants defense has been absolutely abysmal stopping the run this year. They do have pass rushers to get after Mahomes, too. They haven't been super consistent there. They are top 10 in sack rate when rushing for. They are bottom 10 in pressure percentage rushing for, but we know the talent is there. I mean, Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, those guys can really get after it. And if you really want to slow them down, get after this run defense and pound the Giants. And I know that hasn't been Andy Reid's MO, that hasn't been the Chiefs' MO really throughout Andy Reid's tenure, but we have seen them go to in the past. We've seen some games where they will lean on the run. I would love to see it here because, again, with this situation with the wide receivers, they're going to have to get this run game established to help out Patrick Mahomes, take some of the pressure off of this and open things up down the field. Because, again, they do have the burners of Tyquan Thornton. The more you can establish that run, set up play action, hit some deep shots to Thornton, it's only going to help out Patrick Mahomes that much more if you get this run game going. You got to find a way to stay afloat until you get Rashee Rice back in that game against the Raiders. Because right now, as we know, the season is on the line. And you have to win this game against the Giants, especially with some of the other big teams coming up. I think the way to do that is getting a little bit more balance to this offense, getting this run game going, especially getting it going downhill from under center.
Beef of the week presented by Batchelder Family Farms. This right here, this Curly, you're not eating this beef. This is Curly, miniature Highland cow out here. You can come out here to Batchelder Family Farms, 2810 South Prospect Avenue out here in Belton, and you can see Curly. You can pet Curly like I am here. But the beef of the week I got to talk about, not Curly, it's got to be that interior matchup between Dexter Lawrence and Kingsley Suamataia. Look, there's been a lot on Kingsley Suamataia this year. A lot of focus has been on him moving from tackle, getting benched at tackle, moving to left guard, and trying to make that transition. He has improved. I will say this to Kingsley Suamataia's credit. He has improved in the game that he needs to improve in. Curly got me there. I thought Curly was coming after me. I got to play defense as well. Much like Kingsley Suamataia is going to have to be on his toes because Dexter Lawrence, he's got a little bit more beef than Curly does here. I mean, Dexter Lawrence, that's a big, beefy boy. And Kingsley Suamataia, that's a guy that loses quick. Dexter Lawrence, a guy that wins quick. So that could be a recipe for disaster out here when the Kansas City Chiefs take on the New York Giants. Got to keep an eye on that interior matchup. The Giants, man, they got a great D-line. They haven't had a lot of pressure either. Curly might have more pressure than the New York Giants have had so far this year. So we'll see how that shakes out. Kingsley versus big Dexter Lawrence up there. He's probably been the best defensive tackle in the year this year. While the pressure rates aren't too high, he is a nightmare for an opposing offense, much like Curly is for me right now. I don't know. He's unpredictable. I don't know what Curly is going to be doing, but you can come and see Curly out here at Batchelder Family Farms, 2810 South Prospect Avenue. Let's go ahead and send it to Benny for what he's picking this week.
Hey, what's happening, people? It is Benny Heiss, KCSN betting analyst. We got some thoughts. Chiefs and Giants Sunday Night Football. You panicked yet? You're worried about this 0-2 start? Is the sky falling? Just remember, could be worse. And there's a nice opportunity here to get a big victory this week. We're going to talk about a betting play that I like through this portion of the week for Chiefs and Giants in just a second. And the best place that I would highly recommend you consider taking your wager is over at DraftKings Sportsbook. And especially if you're in the state of Missouri, the wait, it feels like it's a far away. It's really not, you guys. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming so soon to the Show Me State, and you can actually sign up today even though they go live on December 1st. New Missouri customers, they can get $300 in bonus bets when DraftKings Sportsbook launches on December 1st. If you download it now, you can place a $5 bet once they're live. It's got everything you need. You got your live in-game bets, plenty of bonuses, fast payouts, endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your couch, your phone, wherever you might be. And remember, once they are live in Missouri, you're going to be betting with the Sportsbook app that is trusted by millions with safe and secure payouts, fast money withdrawals. It's the easiest place to be able to place your bets and make the action come to you. As for this game, some intriguing numbers here, right? Chiefs 6-point favorite, coming off only the second time since Mahomes has been their quarterback where he had been a home dog. And again, not the result that the Chiefs were looking for here. But we are seeing a bunch of money coming in on Kansas City. They're at -6 over DraftKings Sportsbook, at -110 on both sides. 88% of the handle right now, the money coming in on the Chiefs. And that makes sense because initially the line opened at 5.5, reopened over the course of the week over at DK Sportsbook. We've seen that number get pushed to 6. So 88% of the money compared to 73% of the tickets. We're seeing a little bit more of the public bets come in on the Giants relative to the money. So an intriguing sign there. Also, this is going to be a game that is going to be a very popular play on teaser bets. If you want to take the Chiefs and just move them from -6 over to a pick 'em, pair them up with another game to move the line 6, you're going to see that as well. Here's where I'm curious to talk things through. I am on the under at 45.5, -112. You might be thinking, well, wouldn't you just rather get it at 46 or 46.5, 47? Yeah, but this is the number that it's at. And I've also seen other sports books move this line to 44.5, and I expect the line to continue to move backwards. So you're getting a pretty good number here for Kansas City. Remember, the defense, other than week 1 against the Chargers, really not the issue. And I know that the Giants in week 2 look good, but the Cowboys are a mess defensively. So I'm not really taking all of that. And considering the fact that the Dak Prescott might be playing some of the best ball of his career, even these first couple weeks, I don't think there's a whole lot to really gain from that. I think the Giants got things going. Malik Neighbors had some plays deep. I expect the Chiefs to be able to contain him. And also Russell Wilson's had plenty of struggles going up against Steve Spagnuolo's defense. We've seen that in years past, not just with the Broncos, but also during his time in Seattle as well. I like this play for Kansas City. We know that in the second half, this is a team that is going to rely on their running game. There's nobody right now on this team that's going to be able to move the ball downfield unless he's throwing it up to Thornton. So I think Mahomes and company will be perfectly fine playing out the clock in the second half, nursing that lead, and just slowly killing the Giants in their home stadium where, let's be honest, they've been an atrocious home covering team. 1-8 straight up in their last 9 home games, 3-11 against the spread in their last 14 games overall. So yeah, the Chiefs haven't been great against the spread this season. They haven't been good in their last 6 games, 1-5 against the spread, which is part of the reason why I'm just going to stay away from it and rather focus on a team that's been the best second half under team going all the way the last couple years. So I like Kansas City in this matchup to win, but I prefer the total on the underside at 45.5 over on DraftKings Sportsbook. So if that's a play that you're considering, or if you're looking to go the complete opposite way, it doesn't really matter. What is important is that you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the code KCSN. You get $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet once DK Sportsbook goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That is code KCSN in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Remember, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. You must be 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after they're issued. That excludes customers who redeem their pre-launch sign-up offer. All the terms are available at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Only weird games? It's our turn for 5 things. We only do one thing. You're familiar with how the show works, right? Seth Kaiser, Nate Taylor. I am Joshua Briscoe. Seth, we talked about this a little bit on the actual proper show. We've written about it. You've written about it some. We've talked about it for a couple of weeks now. The offense to you, I'm going to summarize and you can take it from there. The offense hasn't shown you anything new in a little while. So our thing to look out for in this game against the Giants is offensive creativity. What could that look like?
Whether it's schematic or personnel, I want to see something different than what we've seen through the first 2 weeks. I understand having Xavier Worthy out has been a bummer, but they knew about the Rashee Rice suspension. Show me something that looks different on offense. Show me different alignments. Show me some different route combinations. I don't need to see. I feel like pretty much every play outside of 3 or 4 I've watched this year and said, man, I've seen that film before. It is a lot of the same stuff. It's constant mesh against man. Nate joked around during Only Weird Games. They're playing man coverage. Well, now we'll finally line up with 2x2 and then we'll run mesh. Run 2x2 when you're not expecting. There's a lot of different route combinations besides mesh you can do with 2x2 formations. Let's see them commit to doing a little bit more under center. Let's see them commit to running the ball with a little more creativity, or screw creativity and just line up and go right down people's faces. Do anything that's different than what we've already seen. And if it's not that way schematically, I'd like to see it personnel-wise. Brashard Smith, get 1 carry. Let's give him a couple carries. The run game looks terrible. Try something to get a spark going with a guy that in preseason, in very limited action, looked like he's got some juice. We've got a very juiceless offense right now. What better time to try to inject something into it than a road game against an NFC team that's not super familiar with you? Now, Kafka's on staff, but, it's been a few years. So I would just love to see them be creative. And I guess by creative, I really do mean I'm not asking them to reinvent the wheel. I'm asking them to try to look for some different answers than the same ones, the same buttons they've been pushing for 2 straight years now.
And Nate, even if Xavier Worthy ends up back for this game, which as we record this right now, I don't really think we know. And even if he's out there, we don't know what he's going to look like on the field.
Right.
There is a 6-week cutoff where this team has to survive without its number 1 wide receiver. They knew that shortly before the season began. So this isn't just a 1-week creativity. They minimum need to stay creative until Rice gets back. And obviously you hope some of that sticks with it from that point forward too.
Right. So, Andy Reid used to be a master at the screen game. So I don't know what that necessarily looks like with this group of players. The question will be, and I do think Xavier Worthy is trending towards playing. So if we believe he is going to be in uniform, how can you get him the ball in an easy manner that gets him in rhythm, perhaps early in the game? Obviously that can include, his first touchdown in his career where you set up an end around or a jet sweep type of play where you get the ball in his hands pretty easily. So that would be one way of being creative, just to see like how he can perform with this new right shoulder injury and how he can protect himself. So if you give him the ball early, he can, maneuver his way to be out of bounds based on his speed. When it comes to the under center stuff, one of the creative things that the Chargers did in week 1 against the Chiefs was show play action, but actually they didn't do it based off of running. They just showed it. They just, hey, I'm turning my back and I'm showing the ball to the running back, and then we're going to gash you for a 15-yard gain. And so I think the Chiefs need to get a little bit more creative when it comes to that. Like, hey, even if our running game isn't as effective as it should be, let's still try to get the defense to commit to something so that we can pass over them. A way for us to create easier passing lanes for Mahomes to where he doesn't have to scramble, because mesh has not worked against man coverage. A lot of things have not worked against man coverage. So in order to do that, I know Seth agrees with this. You can get into more 2x2, 2 tight end sets, identify a personnel package that you like on the defensive team, on the defensive side of the Giants, and then sort of try to manipulate them based on creative play calling. So all those things are something that the Chiefs, we hope, should be looking for. And if they can execute it, that's a good sign moving forward, because if you have to pivot away from what you've been doing the first 2 weeks of the season, you need the players and the coaches to all be on the same page when you do make changes, because as you just said, Josh, that's going to continue throughout the course of the year. You're going to get Rashee Rice back. Who knows what's going to go on with Xavier Worthy past Sunday's game, but they're going to have to be a little more versatile. And one way to do that is to be a creative offense.
It's kind of bizarre, but this is about as important as a week 3 non-conference game can be, I think. But that's where the Chiefs are going to be. Primetime, Sunday Night Football, in a game they've absolutely got to get one down in the winning column on. A lot to keep an eye out on, and we'll, of course, be talking about it next week across KCSN. But right now, I get to send it back to Tucker Franklin.
That's going to do it for 5 things out here at Batchelder Family Farms, 2810 South Prospect Avenue out here in Belton, Missouri. You can find them really wherever you want. You heard from Jenna earlier. You can go find them there. That's going to do it for me. Appreciate everyone hanging out. We've got the post-game show coming up after the game. Make sure you do it on Sunday Night Football against the New York Giants. I got to get out of here. Appreciate you guys listening. We'll talk to you soon.